Welcome back everyone to another Alleviated 8 session, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We have Kathy with us today, taking the lead. And I'll just give a half a minute or so for everybody else to tune in, and then we'll start. All right, Kathy. Feeling good?
Right.
Excellent. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again, as I said, to another Alleviated 8 session. In fact, our 110th Alleviated 8 session. There is actually an announcement I'd like to make at the end of the session about these sessions and about a new offering that we've got coming up. So please do hang around for that and hear me out. But for now, I'm really thrilled to welcome Kathy. And all the more so because, I've been working with Kathy on Alleviate for, I think, 2 and a bit years now. And, it's been a real pleasure. But I actually happened to have met Kathy for the first time in person about a month ago, in fact, 3 weeks ago, and that was a very good interaction. But better yet, I got a hold of her book, My Answer to Cancer, and I read it in pretty much one sitting. It is a riveting book. What a journey! What a story! So you can be working with someone, talking to them daily for 2.5 years, and yet not know how special they are and what they've been through. So my hat off to you, Kathy. What a journey you've had. Truly a privilege for us to have you in the team and have you leading these sessions. And if anyone has lived through a journey of healing and all the work that you've done on yourself, along with all the treatment that you've had. It's an inspiring journey. So well done, Kathy, and I'll hand over to you to talk about healthy emotions.
I certainly will. Thank you, sir. Yes, when I wrote my book, it took a little while before I published it because I didn't know what to call the book because I don't have other people's answers to their cancer. I just had to go on the journey and find my answers and find what I needed to heal. And what I found with that journey is a lot of it was emotions, things that had happened to me. I didn't have the strategies and skills to know how to deal with those emotions. And so I just kept, I suppose, stuffing them down. And people would say to me, let it go. And I thought if I knew how to let it go, I would. But I don't know how to let it go. I don't know the strategies, the skills. Because, if you look at the word emotion, which is energy in motion, and some of the experiences we have in life, we're not prepared for tragedy or trauma and we don't process it. And that's what I found when I went on my healing journey, to go back and heal all the things that were unresolved in my life. And then that's different for everybody. And that's why I could only write my book from my perspective and what I needed to heal. And hopefully it gives people insights of things in their life that they haven't even thought about, that may be a journey for healing. But over the years, because I've been in the healing or cancer industry now for about 33 years, and I've seen thousands of people in groups and one-on-one, and I find one of the biggest hurdles for people is when I say that they tell me their stories and we start to talk about forgiveness. And people say, don't talk to me. I can't forgive them for what they've done to me. And so they hang on to these emotions. But I always remember hearing a little saying, it's like if you don't forgive somebody, it's like you're drinking the poison, but expecting the other person to die. They've gone on with their life. they're living their life. They more than likely don't even give you a second thought, but you're hanging on and you're blocking your life force energy from flowing through your body. And then when I said, but, you know, you need to let that pass. You know, the past is history, and it doesn't matter how many times we go over those events. You can never, ever make it a better past. But what you can do is learn from those experiences, but then release the emotional attachment that you're perhaps still hanging on to. And so for people who don't like the word forgiveness because they're relating it to, well, if I forgive them, I'm virtually saying, well, you know, what they did was all right. And for me, that's not what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness is saying to myself, you forgive other people for yourself, not for them. It's time for me to move forward in my life, and I need to release that emotional attachment. I can't change what happened. I can just change how I respond to what happened to move forward. So I find sometimes it's really good to, if you don't like the word forgiveness or you have a problem with forgiving someone, I found a very powerful substitute for the word forgiveness is release. So I release you for whatever you've done to me, either knowingly or unknowingly, because you're releasing yourself. You don't forgive other people for them. You forgive other people for yourself. It's like freeing up those ties that are binding you to the past so that you can move forward in life. And also with emotions, none of us know what the future is going to bring. And that's why meditation is so important, because it brings you into the now. Because now is all that we've got. We haven't got a past. We've experienced the past. We've got memories of it. We've got stories of it, but we've moved through that. And the future, I think COVID's been an example of teaching all of us that life can change in an instant. We could go into lockdown, or, you know, all sorts of things could happen. So by meditating and being in this moment, and I know that when I first started meditating, I think it's quite ironic, actually, because when people heard about what had happened to me, I was given 2 months to 2 years to live, and chemotherapy and radiotherapy weren't offered. It was too late. A family friend sent me Ian's book, You Can Conquer Cancer, and also sent me a tape. In the old days, we didn't even have CDs. It was before that. It was pre that. It was a tape. And I remember receiving this tape, and I had no idea what meditation was. And so I made sure the kids were in bed, and I laid on the floor in the lounge, and I put this tape on. And I think with the information I'd been given about my prognosis, my mind was going at 1,000 kilometers an hour. It was all sorts of things were coming in, and thoughts that were awfulizing and catastrophizing and very fast. Things were moving very fast. And then I'm laying there listening to Ian's voice that is very slow, slowing things down. And I thought, oh, there might be something wrong with the tape because it was so slow. But what I realized is I was going too fast. My head was jumping up my thoughts into the future. You know, what's going to happen to the kids? They're only 6 and 8, and who's going to, you know, be there at their school days, and, you know, how am I going to handle the, you know, it was just horrendous. And that's why laying there and listening to Ian's voice, just being that nice, slow, rhythmic pattern, gave a new pattern for my mind to anchor onto so that I could let these things go. And I got to such a state I couldn't even feel my body. It was just wonderful. And I thought, wow, this is powerful, this meditation. And so obviously I kept doing, but then I found the more I did it, I'd be sitting there and I'd have tears running down my cheeks. And I had no idea what I was crying for, but it's just that I slowed down long enough to allow my thoughts, my emotions, and my feelings to express themselves. So it was a very interesting time. And I find when I was running groups, I'd ask people, you know, tell me your story. And then they'd start talking about their story, and they'd start crying. And oh, I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to cry. And I said, but what if, you know, you're asking for healing, you're praying for healing. And now what if these tears are part of your healing? And you say, oh, I don't want it that way. It's a bit messy. And then other people would say, oh, I don't want to start crying because if I start crying, I'll never stop. Well, I'll guarantee you in the 33 years I've been doing this work, I've seen, I'm going to say hundreds of people cry, and people do stop. They don't keep crying forever. It's just letting the pressure off a pressure cooker. If you can let that out, and that's where meditation is good too. So if you're sitting there and meditating, you have tears, just let them come. It's part of a natural healing process. And that's why this meditation we're doing tonight is on our app under Managing Emotions. And we're looking at healthy emotions. And before we go into this, I just want you to close your eyes for a minute and just feel, what emotions are you feeling at this moment? Just be aware of them. They're there, but you might be keeping your mind too busy because you don't want to get in touch with them. But I just want you to be aware of what you're feeling at this moment. Some of you may be feeling very, very happy. You've had a wonderful day. Some of you might have had sad news and you're feeling very, very sad, or something might have gone wrong. Some of you may be feeling anger. And it's not about judging whether they're good emotions or bad emotions. They are simply emotions. And so it's about observing them and letting them have their life. And so things like anger, there's nothing wrong with anger, but it's what you do with the anger. So if you hurt yourself or hurt other people or damage property, that's not a good way of dealing with anger. But talking to someone and expressing it out, not dumping your anger on someone, but discussing, having an open, honest discussion can help to diffuse that anger. Doing sport is one of the best ways to express anger as well. Hitting a golf ball or a tennis racket, or just expressing and that movement. So just being aware of what you're feeling now, and it'll be interesting after doing the meditation, which we're about to do, which is healthy emotions, seeing what you feel like at the end of it. Has there been a shift? Can you change? Because, with what we call happy emotions, they don't always just happen. Sometimes we need to do things to create those happy thoughts and happy emotions. So if you're finding that you're getting stuck in one particular emotion, what thoughts can you change to create new emotions? So I can sit here and talk for ages about it, but I think you're all here to experience it. So what I invite you to do now is to get yourself into a comfortable position, a good posture that's for you. Either sitting in a chair works really well, or if you lie down, that's great. But the idea is not to go to sleep, it's to be aware of what's happening for you. So just readjusting your body. If you are sitting up, putting your feet firmly on the ground, being aware of the back of the chair and the support that's giving you, your hands resting on your thighs, or just simply cupped in your lap. Just noticing what works best for you, because this is your time. So once again, tuning in, what are your needs? And then when you're ready, you might like to join me and just let your eyes close gently. Just following the breath as it comes in and out. Now remember your intention. A gentle reminder to yourself that you're doing this guided exercise to help yourself, particularly for balancing your emotions. And then aim to let go of any effort, any striving to make something in particular happen. Just being relaxed and curious and observing what happens as you follow this guidance. And now imagine if you were sitting in front of you, the person in your life that has loved you the most. The person in life who showed you loving kindness. And recall this person and that feeling of being loved, cared for. If you think such a person is not easy, maybe it's a special pet that you have known. And now remembering them, how they looked, and the feeling of their acceptance, their love, their warmth. And sit with recalling what that was like for you. Giving yourself over to any feelings just as you experience them, naturally. And as you do so, feeling any love that arises in your heart, and visualizing now this love in the form of light. A warm white light. And see this warm white light coming from the heart of the person who has loved you. That person sitting in front of you, like a gentle beam of white light. A beam like from a lighthouse. And steadily that light becoming stronger and brighter. And glowing more and more in your heart. And eventually this light filling your own heart completely. Before flowing out and gradually filling your entire body. So that your whole body is glowing with warm white light. Perhaps even wrapping around you like a cloak or a blanket. And as you feel yourself filling with the warmth and the comfort of this radiant light, you can imagine broadcasting it from your heart back to the heart of the person who really loved you. And so letting that light radiate back to them. And in your mind's eye, you see them too becoming filled with gentle, warm, white light. Getting brighter and brighter. Just like turning up a dimmer switch. Gradually filling their body. And imagine them glowing with radiant, warm white light. And radiating it back to you from their heart. And you continue this back and forwards flow of the white light until you have the sense that both of you are now filled with white light. Full of loving kindness, full of wishes that the other be well and happy and safe. And now imagine a neutral person in your life. A person who you know somewhat casually, but who you know well enough to bring to mind. And now imagine that that person is sitting on the right of the person who really loved you. And as you imagine them now in front of you, have the intention to also send to them those same feelings of loving kindness in the form of the warm white light. So now, recalling that person who loved you, rekindling, remembering the feelings of loving kindness that you felt from them. Imagining your whole body filled with warm white light. As that white light within you becomes brighter and brighter, you naturally radiate the light. Seeing that light going from your heart to the person who has loved you, and seeing them filled up with this gentle, warm white light, becoming brighter and brighter. Just like turning up a dimmer switch, gradually filling their entire body. Imagine both of you now glowing brightly with warm white light. Now radiating it out like a searchlight, a gentle beam of light that travels from your heart to the neutral person's heart. Mentally wishing them to receive whatever they need to be content, to be peaceful, and to be happy. Filling the neutral person's heart with the same warm white light. Flowing out from your heart and filling their entire body. So eventually their whole body is glowing with warm white light. And resting in these feelings for a few moments. Now think of a person who has been difficult in your life. You do not need to choose the most difficult person. It could be someone who just irritates or annoys you. Just choose someone challenging enough. Whoever comes to mind, simply imagine this person as if they are sitting there in front of you on the right of the neutral person. So there they are. And whatever feelings are aroused by doing this, just notice that. Maybe you notice yourself tightening up a bit. Or perhaps feelings of wanting to protect yourself. Maybe push them out of your mind. So aim to simply relax your body and give these natural reactions some space. And then recall the person who has loved you. The warm glow of their care coming to your heart, filling it completely with white light. And look again at the difficult person. Now, when you are ready, draw upon this white light once again. And this time project the light to the person who has been difficult. See the light going to this difficult person, like a beam of light flowing into their heart, filling their heart, and gradually their whole body with warm white light. So eventually they too become radiant with light. Returning as you wish to the person who has loved you, and re-establishing the flow of white light from their heart to you, and then sending the light to the difficult person with the wish that they be safe, they be well, they be content. Loving kindness. Now, continue to alternate between the three people until the white light is glowing evenly in all three of them. And now simply rest with the feelings of loving kindness, almost as if you're absorbed in those feelings and the presence of the white light. That's good. It's now time to bring your awareness back into the room. But before you open your eyes, just once again, be aware of your own emotions at this time. Being aware if they're the same as when we started the meditation, whether they may have changed, or whether you've become aware of other feelings or emotions. Being non-judgmental, whether they're good or they're bad, just observing. And then when you're ready, taking in a nice deep breath. And as you breathe out, opening up your eyes, bringing your awareness back into the room, feeling calm, relaxed, and connected with yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kathy. What a wonderful session.
Thank you.
I'm going to stop the